You would talk about it to your community and you would help one another achieve the dreams. But now we're kind of in like a society where it's almost like a hindrance to like speak on your dreams. Somebody might be like listening in and being like, oh, I can't let him live that out, or oh, I don't want to see him do that, out of their own jealousy of not having their own dreams completed. So I go around and today's topic is kind of like what keeps people pushing, right? Like it's not a foreseen like path to your dream, right? Like you can't just be like, I want to be a billionaire, and then somebody hand you a step-by-step guide of how to be a billionaire, right? So what is your dream and how are you chasing it?
Just gonna get you.
Right now I'm 21 years old, I'm in college. I don't really have, I guess, a very like set plan of what my dream is, to say. I guess I'd like to live comfortably at the end, when it's all said and done. I mean, I feel like the average dream for people is, start a family, live a very like comfortable life and stuff. Right now I'm studying sports management.
Okay.
Not really too interested in it. Just kind of picked it because I wanted to go to college, wanted an easy major, wanted to have the college experience, have to learn how to live on my own, adult, all that stuff.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'd say my dream would be at least to help people in some sort of way.
Okay.
I worked as a summer camp counselor last summer, worked with a lot of kids, my first time working with kids, it was really fun. Right now I'm searching for an internship this summer to help mainly just work with kids. I applied to a couple summer camps, some nonprofits that help out kids and the youth, especially in the Philly area where a lot of things are underdeveloped and underfunded. It's eye-opening. And I'm from Bucks County. I'm like an hour out.
Okay.
And there's a lot of community there. Everything's funded. There's not too much poverty really there. Homeless people you don't see at all.
Correct.
And yeah, just coming here just really to open my eyes to what life really is on the other side of things. It's very like, I guess, I don't know. I was very ignorant and didn't really know too much. Now I know more. So I guess a dream I would have is to help people out rather than just make money.
Okay.
I think, but
that's very noble of you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I talk to want to help others, right? And it's very cool seeing people. I'm from Bucks County myself, Trevose. So would you want to live in Philadelphia after you're done school and help in Philly, or would you want to move back to Bucks, or is there somewhere else on your mind where you plan to go?
I mean, currently I'd like to live in Philadelphia. That's why I'm trying to get an internship down here.
Okay.
Like going home's great and all. My sister's, she's getting a doctorate right now, or no, she's getting her master's somewhere else, so she's not going to be home, so there's not really too much of a reason to go home. I mean, my parents are great, love my parents, all that, but I'd like to live down here with my friends. So, I mean, realistically, if I do graduate, I'd like to live in the city for a couple more years.
Okay.
And then eventually, as I get older, maybe into my late 30s, early 40s, maybe even my early 30s, to move back into the suburbs or in a more secluded, quiet area where I'm not surrounded by too many people.
Okay.
Like, I'd like to make connections and to gain as much experience as I can. I'm healthy in my 20s and can talk to people and can communicate with people and have an education enough to where I can understand, like, alternative perspectives and different cultures and life experiences from people right now, because I'm in this melting pot of Philadelphia at Temple University. There's so many people and so many different just worldviews and stuff. Like a lot of my friends, one of them was born in Italy, and another one was born in Puerto Rico, and they've like taught me a bunch of cultures about themselves, and I've realized how uncultured I am on things because I live in Bucks County, which is very white, rural area. Not rural, but like very...
Not a lot going on.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I'd like to at least work in some youth development programs down here in Philadelphia. I applied to one pretty close to here, Philadelphia Youth Basketball. They help teach kids how to be, good people with basketball and stuff. And I applied to some like development thing. It wasn't really working with kids, but it was mainly on the email, newsletter side of business, which was, I thought I would get my foot in the door, but they didn't accept me. It was really whatever, but...
And now are you still actively trying to pursue joining, an organization?
Yeah.
Because that was your first hurdle, it sounds like. They didn't accept you, you sent an email, and it's kind of like whatever. What is now the next step for you, and what kind of motivated you? Because some people would take that and be like, oh, that's not for me, and it would totally almost give them no motivation to follow, and they would kind of almost give up. That's what I see a lot in today's
Yeah.
society is
Yeah.
people try once, they fail, and then they're like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, well, I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with it in like second
Okay.
grade, took medication for it up until 9th grade, stopped taking it because it made me feel odd, because whatever.
I get it. I
Recently
get it.
switched to Adderall about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's been great. See so much more clarity in my thoughts when I take it, when I'm on it. Way more motivated about getting stuff done and getting work done. So
That's good.
applied to a lot more internships. Pretty much I'm just, testing the waters and everything, applying to as many internships as I can, getting my name out there. When I got rejected, it was kind of annoying, but I was rejected by some other internship I applied back in November, which I really wanted to do, which was kind of like discouraging, but I don't know, like I'm on TikTok a lot and I see a lot of stuff about like, applying to internships and stuff, and people say like you'll apply like 1,000 or even like tens of thousands of internships and most of them won't get back to you, but once you get that one, it's great. So that's what I'm really just searching for, is that one, just to get back to me. But the one I'm pursuing now, it's called Level the Playing Field.
Okay.
They repurposed youth sports equipment and sell them at discounted prices, or provide them to coaches for kids so that kids can play youth sports, because apparently one of the biggest hurdles to youth sport participation is affording new like baseball bats, helmets, gloves, all of
The
that.
equipment.
Yeah, and it feels good being able to provide that for people that are less fortunate than me, because I've been pretty much fortunate my whole life. Parents made good money, lived in a nice area, was pretty much everything was handed to me. Not spoiled per se, but I had a good life, not too much bad stuff going on. So.
Well, it's great that you can come from a good life of comfort and not want to leave and go back to it, but want to almost discomfort yourself by coming into a new society and learning things to help your culture and the people around you. I want to suggest, because I don't want to run over our time for you. The Boys and Girls Club of Philadelphia, great organization, 100% volunteer. The Ronald McDonald House, great organization, also based out of Philadelphia. CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, they do Camp for Kids, which is like an autistic kind of like help support kind of thing, based out of I want to say St. Christopher's. It's a hospital on Erie Avenue across from the Lighthouse soccer field. I don't know if you're too familiar, but that's in like the Kensington neighborhood. But those are all great organizations, along with YMCA. They pay though,
Yeah,
the YMCA. I want to agree with the TikTok. I send out thousands of emails, and I give away free stuff to businesses to come and interview them, just like we're talking about their business and motivated to start their business. And maybe out of 100, I'll get 5 or 10 that will be like, yeah, we'll take free stuff. You know what I mean? It's a weird time. But I'll give you just a little bit of backstory on me. When I turned 18, I came here and I started working in City Hall for Motorola. And I was very excited, to an 18-year-old working in City Hall sounds great, right? Like, you're going to start into politics. This is a great venture. And not until I did that did I learn that wasn't for me. It's not a very, lavish lifestyle. It's very stressful. The people aren't nice to one another. You know what I mean? You don't really get it until you live through it, right? So don't let any email and misconnection discourage you from anything, because you don't know you could have taken that job and that could have been the worst choice you ever made, right? We don't know until we live it. So I talked to somebody, a model yesterday, and they said, this is the life we get, right? And to think about anything else other than what you have today is to just waste what you have in your hands, right? So, if you want to make a change and you're kind of running into roadblocks on how to make a change by looking to other people to help them change, maybe look and see if there's something you can do at Temple or in this area to start your own kind of situation to help the people you choose to help, and then be in control yourself. We're in a very fluid time in society where you can start something and with social media get a huge presence behind it to help you, right?
Yeah.
So if you are truly motivated and you find you're running into walls on how to use your motivation to help others, just start doing that in itself, right? And I know that sounds a lot more complex than, but just give you an example. There's not a lot of photo and video groups in like the city of Philadelphia. There's Create Philly, there's Philly Photo Shutter Club. So like if you were an amateur photographer, videographer, and you wanted to learn and connect with people, there's two real options, and you have to pay for those. And our team went and visited, and it was cool, right? But say you're a college kid and you don't have $25, or you don't have a camera, but you just want to get into it. Our team went and started events that were free to the public, and we got businesses to pitch in their property or their service or their environment in order to host these events, and allowed the Philly community, models, photographers, and novices that wanted to join to come in completely for free, pick up a camera out of the inventory, learn a camera, learn how to interact with a model, stuff that we valued that the Shutter Club and Philly Create didn't even advertise. It was more of like an experience. You paid your way and you got that experience of working with models and using your camera. So there are so many different ways to do things that sometimes the best way to do it is to do it your own way.
Yeah.
So that I go out and I talk to people, because your way of thinking is completely different than any other way. And I myself have ADD and ADHD, and I'm thankful Adderall works for you. And these conversations like this help people, number one, listening, right? Because they're going to see, and they're going to be like, well, I want to help people too, but maybe I should try TikTok. Maybe I should try interning, things that they would have never even thought to try, right? And the whole point of this is every time I talk to people, just like yourself, you have kind of this idea of like, I want to help the community and I want to be part of a charity that helps my, surroundings. But that's not super specific, right? Like and I say that like, I feel like it's weird to me as a person that we wake up and we think about what we want to do with our day or what we want to do with our week, or most likely Friday, Saturday, but nobody's like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what am I chasing today to make my dreams come true? We're all kind of living a very long-winded, like, this is where I want to be, like a house, a family, right? But none of us kind of look at the short term of the steps to get there, right? Other than going to college, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think would help you try and find your path? To answer that question easier, I guess.
I think just experience. I like to think a lot. I like to speak a lot too, talk to like random people like this. Like I saw you came back here, it was like, I'll try to talk to this guy, see what he's about. Like 2 years before, I probably wouldn't have done this. I have a really weird way of just like overthinking about things to the point where think of the worst possible outcome and not doing it. And I've kind of changed that way of thinking, of just trying it to the point where I won't think about doing it, and I'll just do it. And then if it's bad, it's bad, and if it's good, it's good. But at least I like tried. Like I like the saying, it's like if you never try, like it's always a no. Like it's better to try than to not do anything at all. And I think just like getting experience and doing stuff is really what's gonna help me find my purpose or like my passion or my drive to do things. And I think that's all you can really do, because there's no other way of knowing what you want to do without actually going and putting in the work in and like doing it and like having experience. Because people aren't hired because they think they know stuff. They're hired because they have certificates or they have experience or they have actual physical proof of what they've done and stuff.
Right. No, I live. Most of my friends think I'm crazy because like I'll see something and they'll be like, I don't want nothing to do with that, and they'll be like, well, I've never done that, so let's go give it a try. And you don't know, you're right, until you do it, right? You don't know if you're gonna love it, hate it, like it, whatever. So and I feel like that's what a majority of people, and it comes down to even socialization, right? And I feel like we hear this most often on a Friday or Saturday night, like, what's there to do? Who's going to be there? Is it popping? Yeah. Is it like dry? Like what's going on? And that didn't used to be the case. Like when our parents grew up, there was no, like, there was phones, the rotary phones, you called each other, but you just showed up, and that's
Yeah.
how the event became poppin'. That's how it became, you know, a great time, was just going out and giving it your best and, you know, getting the best out of it.
Yeah, but I feel like with the digital age, even though it's made us so much more connected to everyone and like people around the world and all this stuff, it's also like I feel like disconnected way more than it's connected people. I feel like some people just like live their lives through screens and online and stuff, and they don't do it, like go out and do anything anymore. Like I have a younger cousin, he's 10 years younger than me, and I try to talk to him at family gatherings, everything, and you get like one word out of him, and he goes on his phone and stuff, which is like, you know, it's whatever. He's still a kid, he's got a lot to learn and stuff. But I don't know, like I used to be like that. Like I used to just not care about anything except if it was related to playing my PS4 or playing a video game when I got home. And then I just grew out of that because I'm like, there's so much more to life than playing Overwatch or playing Minecraft or playing Fortnite and stuff. And
Do you remember being super talkative as a kid, though?
I mean, with my friends, yeah, but I remember being very shy and being very
Okay.
timid to go up to people and like try to make new friends. Unless, like, I was very comfort with my, I had a lot of comfortability with my clique or my group when I was in elementary school, and then like through middle school, my middle school got split up half and half to high school, and it was hard to make friends in high school because I was very much comfortable with the people I've made friends with in middle school. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like the younger generation is gonna have a harder time, you know, with discourse and communicating and making friends, just because everything's so online nowadays and everyone's shoving a screen in your face and everything's so digitalized and stuff. And I don't know, it's great because it's like, you know, the advancement, future, it's cool and all, but I don't know, it's just scary.
It is scary. I think it doesn't force people, and force might be a harsh word, but you were forced to, you know, when you split in middle school to high school,
Yeah.
you weren't addicted to an iPad and forced into a screen. You were forced to kind of be uncomfortable and feel awkward and communicate with new people and kind of feel yourself how you want to communicate with new people, how you want to, like, not represent yourself, but like show yourself to the world, you know. And when you are constantly in a screen, you're kind of inept to that, right? You don't know, right? Like you've probably never had a bad altercation with somebody where you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to people like that, or like you've probably never felt like an awkward moment where you're like, oh, I have to just deal with this, right? And kind of like recover, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a tough world, and that's why we're out here, you know, talking to people.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to people, kind of some life advice that kind of you carry close to your heart that's helped you a couple of times that may help somebody else?
I mean, I went through a breakup like freshman year, like summer freshman year, and my mom kept telling me like this one saying, it's like, this will pass, like everything passes, just like time's great, it's good and bad, but especially with like, you know, awkward things that happen to you or like traumatic events and stuff like that, like, you know, it's not going to affect you for the rest of your life. It will live with you, like you still have the thought of it, you still know it exists and it's like real and it happened, but it won't affect you as much as it does right when it happens. And yeah, or like, so you can't adjust the winds, but you can adjust your sails, something like that. Like you can't change what happens to you, but you can change how you think about it or react to it, which I think is the strongest thing. Like as long as you have thoughts and you know who you are, I think you'll be fine.
Amen.
But I don't know, I want to talk about like the whole, like I feel like with the younger generation too, like a lot of them look for advice and stuff by people that are older than them, especially with like, you know, guys like seeking out guy things, especially with like the Andrew Tates of the world, the Fresh and Fit podcast, those people perpetuating that women are objects, or like the men are the prize and the women are the prize. And you see it in, like with everything, like with politics too, like Democrats hate Republicans, Republicans hate Democrats, and it's crazy because we're all humans, like we all have a heart, we all have a brain, we all have thoughts, we're all exactly the same, we're all mammals, animals, and it seems that like, I don't know, obviously in all parts of history, people have been divided on specific things, but it feels like the internet really perpetualizes like, you know, men being like, I don't know, a lot of these creators make these like narratives about women and narratives about men and stuff, and then when kids aren't restricted or, you know, they go through these rabbit holes of things, and they start to realize like, oh wow, these like women do this, and like they have no idea what it's like because they'll just get information from a phone or something like that. Like I see these guys with these meta glasses will go up and like talk to a woman in public, and then these kids are like, well, I already see how it is, or this guy got rejected, I'm not going to do it, or you know, that's cool, but I don't want to do it myself because I've already seen it online. Like I had no urge or like desire to do it, and it's just sad. I don't know, like. The internet, it was cool when it first came out because it was a very niche like thing where you just like look up things you don't know, and now it's became this whole like ecosystem of people and a lot of stuff. I don't know, like it's obviously there's good and bad to everything, but
Right.
I feel like people are exploiting the internet too much at this point of time, and I think it's only going to get more and more exploitive. And I don't know, it's not inspiring, but like I'm curious to see how. If there will be regulations on things in the internet, like what people can post, like obviously freedom of speech is a thing, but who knows they'll restrict what you can and cannot post on the internet in the coming years and stuff. But yeah, I just think there should be more guidelines for children on the internet, like
For sure.
obviously parents and how new and cool the internet was. I don't know, like obviously there's YouTube Kids and all this stuff where you can put restrictions, but most parents don't do that because it's a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
I guess there's just be like a kid internet or something like that to where it helps teach
Like a
kids.
registered IP address
Yeah.
that you would log in, just like on your computer at school. You log into your domain, and then that's your,
Yeah.
access portal.
Like-
that would be good. Yeah.
11-year-old mind shouldn't be seeing like cleavage or boobs or ass and stuff, and like I don't know, it's just scary. And the OnlyFans stuff, like that's just like a detriment where kids will have this like lustful idea of women and only view them in this certain light. And same thing with men. I mean, it goes both ways, yeah, but it's just sad. Like I have friends down here that view women as like, obviously they say it in a joking way, like all women are whores, all this bullshit, but it's just like, they say it so much, it almost makes you think that they believe it to a point, and like where do you draw the line of it's a joke and you actually believe it because you say it so much. But I don't know. I feel like at this point I'm just trying to live my life like very level-headed and evenly,
good.
seeing things how they are and not making like prejudices about people because I see stuff online, like taking people for how they are and who they are, which is hard because going on the internet, you have, these, whatever they call them. I don't even know the name of it, but like you have these like preconceived notions of people because you see stuff online, and then you view them in that light and stuff, and it just doesn't help. But yeah, I'm trying to remove myself as much from the internet as possible, trying to go on my phone less, trying to live my life in the moment and without screens, because I feel like that's how it was meant to be and that's how it should be.
Amen. Amen. For sure. It's tough. A long time ago, we grew up in communities of like huts and villages, where like your role models, your guidance, the people who taught you everything, like what women are, how we value them, what men are, how we value them. Those were a tight-knit group of people. And when somebody told you something bad, they were like a bad influence or the black sheep, right? Now, it's just, well, mom and dad works a lot, so like, the babysitter's going to hand you an iPad and you're just going to learn off of Nickelodeon or, Netflix or, Disney. And then once you get to, adolescence and teenage years, you're going to learn with whatever YouTube brings you. You know what I mean? And that's, you don't have the same network of people. And like you brought up Andrew Tate, we look for role models, right? Like early 2000s, you had Paris Hilton or Shania Twain as a poster in your billboard in your room, or like Channing Tatum or whatever.
Yeah.
But their political views, their life views, how they deal with their day wasn't also on your wall. It was just a photo. You just had this idea, and that imagination you built yourself, right? Who Paris Hilton was or who Channing Tatum was outside of this poster. And now, right? Like, you get a poster. Andrew Tate, he's a misogynist. He hates women. He so, and you see that, you ingest that daily. You're reminded. You're constructed of, hey, my role model is this person, and this is how he feels about everything. So like, I like how he lives his life. Maybe I should do it like he's doing it in order to get that way. And that's not the answer. Everybody has their own kind of journey. I think what social media has brought in is we see the end product and they're like, well, I want to do everything he did or she did to get there, and that's not the case. Like, I can't follow Bill Gates. I can't be like, I designed this new computer. I call it a pear. Yeah. You know, would you like to try it? And people would be like, no, sir, get out of here. You know, so it's a tough life, and you know, living with an open mind is the most important thing. Never be narrow-minded. You know, like you said, you go into everything just looking at it to be, what is this? You know, so let that lead your life, and it will fulfill you. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be some shit that sucks, like especially with relationships.
Oh yeah.
Breakups, I've always found a new way I love someone and a new way I hate them, right? And that's what relations are, right? Men and women, doesn't matter romantically. I'm sure you have guy friends, right? Love some things about them, like they're your man, your bro, and then there are things that you hate, whether they're like a loud eater or like they like smoke in your like dorm or like whatever. There's things that tick you off. As men, we kind of like call each other names, we kind of like deal with it, you know, like the dudes, you know what I mean? We'll be like, well, fuck you, dude, you know what I mean? Where like it's women, you can't say that or else it gets more magnitude. There's a very different approach, and as social media grows, that divide is only getting wider and wider, because you have people like Andrew Tate inspiring people who aren't open-minded like you to be like, hey, you know, I'm not going to even go out. Like you said, I saw the guy with the meta glasses. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to be rejected. Well, now that guy is just going to walk around for a decade and be like, women don't want men like me because Andrew Tate says so.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, this is the last thing I'll say, I think the biggest thing people need to do, like I struggle with this too, but like, you know, doing your own research, like not going on social media to find out the truth of things. Everything's clipped, everything's taken out of context. You know, reading like articles from periodicals that are like, you know, reviewed and have substance and like credibility to them. Like doing your own research is like the biggest thing, especially with like the news and politics today and stuff. Like not fake news and all this bullshit, but like, you know, stuff getting taken out of things. Like, you know, reading unbiased stuff.
Like factual stuff,
like,
things with resources and links to look up information, not opinionated.
Yeah, looking into things and not like relying on clips on social media to believe something and stuff like that. Like that's like the biggest detriment I feel nowadays is people will ingest a clip and have an opinion on something when they haven't read fully into it and stuff. And I feel like that perpetuates a lot of divide on people too on many things, and yeah, it's just not great. But it also just takes work, you know, being lazy, going on TikTok, you see a clip, it's like, oh, it's go on TikTok, you see everything, but then you gotta look up a link or you gotta look up a paper, then you gotta read the whole paper, and it's not like a 5-second synopsis of the paper and then people get bored. So yeah, I just think, you know, doing your own research on stuff and like looking into things is the most important thing you can do, and formulating your own opinions based off of what you read and educating yourself, and not based off of what your parents think or your friends think.
Amen. Well, thank you very much for sitting down and talking with us.
What's your name
I
again?
appreciate it. Dan. What was
Dan?
yours?
Patrick.
Patrick. Very nice to meet you, Patrick. Here's our card. You can scan the thing too, but
Yeah, I'll
wait,
look you guys up.
do I have? Yep. It'll be up on YouTube.
Thank you, man. I
You're
appreciate
the man.
it.
Stay cool. Enjoy the weather.
As I will.
Yeah. You too. So that was Patrick. Great guy. Seems like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old at a temple. Seems like he's got his head on his shoulders. Great people. The best way to live, as he spoke about it, is to live open-minded, right? Like live with, you know, adventure in the heart and hoping to find the next great thing. If you live closed-minded, you'll only find what's closed off inside already. All right, so we're gonna bring a commercial as we've been live for a little bit and give you all a break. Would love to cover this event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from lighting to sound, videography to still photography, and drones, FPV, GPS, and cinema level drones. Just a few: the Inspires, the FX6, the A7Is, gimbals from Ronin, Mavics, and FPV Cinelifters. We have everything.
Yeah, I'm down to talk.
What was your name?
My name is Chuck.
Chuck, very
Chuck.
nice to meet you. Sit down, have a seat. I just asked you to speak for a minute, that way I know I can hear you.
Hey. So, I'm Chuck Fuchsia.
Great, Chuck. So, where are you from, Chuck?
I'm from here. I'm from Philly.
Okay.
Delco.
Okay, Delco, very
Yeah.
nice. I'm from Bucks. So, what is your dream, Chuck?
Just be a musician, really.
Okay, what
Yeah.
type of musician? Do you play guitar?
I play
piano?
guitar. I do everything. I sing. I play guitar. I rap. I produce.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been a musician, and how long has this been your dream?
I've been a musician since I was a kid. Like I wanted to start like when I remember like being like 4 or 5 years old. My mom got like this. She got this DVD of Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in 1994. And I was just like, I was blown away by that, by Kurt Cobain. I thought he was like the coolest fucking dude ever.
Kurt's the man.
Yeah, and but like where my musical aspirations like always varied, over the years. Like I wanted to be a rock star, and then I wanted to like do EDM like back around like 2013, 2014 type shit, and I wanted to be an EDM producer like Skrillex or Deadmau5.
Okay.
And I don't know, like when I got into like late middle school, high school, I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be in like an emo screamo band, and I'm trying to do that with my brother.
That's coming on.
Yeah, I'm working on an album right now. It's like cloud rock type shit.
Okay.
It's like like I don't know if you know like cloud rap.
No, I'm not too
It's like
familiar.
like kind of like I don't know. I guess like Lil B. I guess Suicide Boys, like
Okay.
high C type shit.
Okay.
And just like mixed with like post-hardcore type shit, and but I sometimes I became kind of like a rapper and a producer too when I got in like around like 19, 20 years old, because like the band, my whole like band thing wasn't working out, so I just I just started doing that because like you can't always like rely off of everybody to do everything. So I just like
Right.
like I wanted to like actually like start releasing stuff, and that's why it took me kind of a little bit longer to release stuff. I didn't like release a project until I was like 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
I'm 23.
Okay.
Just turned 23 actually.
Okay, congratulations,
Yeah.
happy birthday. So it seems like you're very resilient on your dream. You don't let anything get it in your way
No.
of chasing it.
I'm going to college here, but I'm still chasing that shit, but I'm trying to manage my time as much as I can.
That's good.
It's like very disorderly. Yeah. So
What are some things that have been roadblocks, and how have you overcome them? Like, how have you motivated yourself more in particular to overcome them?
fellow musicians
Okay.
in the same scene, they try to
They try and pick you back up.
roadblocks. Like,
Oh, okay. So the opposite. They were standing in the way.
yeah, underground, like in the underground rap scene, like SoundCloud type scene, cloud rap type scene, whatever the fuck.
They definitely don't want to see you succeed.
Like, well, yeah, they don't want to see me succeed. Like, I got scammed a few times by like a few artists.
Like producers, like you
No,
paid them to help you make a track.
like I got scammed by a fellow rapper because he was talking about like trying to get me onto a label and stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to sign to a label, but like he was just like giving me opens and shit, and just like with like popular artists like Arx K Nephew and like Slime Cedo and shit.
Okay.
And it's just like Skepta too, actually.
Okay.
So I got scammed out of a lot of money, and like
For like collabs.
yeah, for like collabs and shit.
Okay.
I was just like, I didn't care about a label or like any of that shit. I just wanted to like collab with a lot of people and shit.
Right.
But then like I just Yeah, that's how I got scammed. I got scammed by a producer, but just out of like a tiny bit of money too. But like that's
Well, that
yeah.
sucks. I'm
But
sorry.
he was an inspiration to me too. He produced. I don't know if you know Blade. He's associated with Blade and Drain Gang.
Okay.
But he. Yeah, it was pretty shitty what he did. But other than that, yeah,
It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
Not only are you like,
I can't really trust too many people. I have friends like I know that like do this shit. I have one friend that's very supportive of me. Like we support each other back and forth, and like we always like share each other's music. We try to lift each other up. We're all
that's good.
yeah.
Friends are very good to have.
Your friends are very good to have.
especially loyal ones. Now, it seems like you keep yourself motivated. What is the next step for you
The next step for me,
in the music?
just get my name out there.
Just get your name out.
I only have like 300 monthly listeners right now on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you plan on doing that? Like, what does that look like to you? Is it like I've talked to other musicians? They go out in like Walnut and Broad, and they set up and they play like at Love Park.
No, it's just the internet. It's
Right.
for me like SoundCloud, I guess. But I don't know. I know like a few like bigger like people in the scene. Like this dude.
Is what you're producing right now mostly EDM, or
No,
is it like
no,
rap?
it's like cloud rap type
Okay.
shit. I guess I don't.
Now you say cloud rap. I really don't know what cloud rap is. What is the difference between rap and cloud rap?
So rap, it's like I guess like
Normal rap, yeah, I get that.
like cloud rap. I don't know if you heard like Lil B or anything. No, like Suicide Boys, kind of
Okay.
like that. Bones, I guess. That's a little more on the darker side. It's like I guess
So
it's
like heavy metal kind
no,
of.
it's like kind of like hazy, like trippy rap music basically.
Okay. Okay.
It's like euphoric rap music basically. It's like
Okay.
very. That's why they call it cloud. It's like like you're on cloud on the cloud. or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
It's
So trippy.
but like I don't like to put my music into like labels or anything. I just like I'm trying to like do whatever I can.
Have you gone to like I know some of the Temple students go to like the Ave, and they have like DJing nights where like it's just all like, I don't want to say all Temple students, but it's a majority of younger talent.
No, I never been there. I don't think. I just find people on the internet. Like I find people on Instagram, SoundCloud, whatever. Like those places. Like I think.
Okay.
I think what like. I don't think you get those kind of guys at like DJ nights and stuff. But I mean, maybe you find like fellow like musicians that like actually play like guitar and stuff. Like I'm trying to look for people like that, like people that play bass, drums.
Okay.
Like, I'm still trying to do my band thing.
Right,
with my
right, right.
brother. I'm doing different projects at once. So
There's a Facebook group in Philadelphia, Philadelphia musicians and band members, I think is the name of the group. I don't know where they meet, but they meet once a month, and it's just like a networking group of people just like yourself that are looking for fellow band members and to connect with people.
yeah, I just find like like related artists on Spotify, SoundCloud.
Okay. And then DM them and
I DM.
Yeah.
I don't like going to like Facebook networking shit. Like I tried that. It's just I don't know. It's just like people that are like I don't know. I guess a little out of touch.
Okay.
With reality, if I gotta be honest.
Okay. Hey, everybody's different.
They're a little older too, so that's one thing.
Yes, I have noticed the people on Facebook. It's kind of funny. I'm 30, so I feel like all my money and all my connections are made on Facebook, and then I go to TikTok and like
That's
Twitter,
okay.
and I feel like almost obsolete. I'm like, one, I barely understand, right? And
Yeah.
then two, it's like hard finding groups, and you're right. It's a lot of younger generation.
Yeah.
Now, what is, if you follow your dream and you become either in a band or a producer yourself, what does life look like for you in your 40s? Like on a random Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, what are you doing?
I don't know. I just think maybe like I do want to get married one day.
Okay.
I don't want to live alone.
Who would?
Yeah, I think I like, having kids. That sounds like a goal of mine. But
Why
like,
do you want kids?
I just I just want to I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess. I just
Like, do you want to feel a part of a family? Do you want to like show the
Yeah.
next generation everything
show
you learned?
show the next generation. Try to be I feel like my dad taught me a lot over the years. I think he's like a very strong guy. I want to, and I kind of aspire to be kind of like a dad like him. I think he's a very, well, not exactly like him. I think that, like, some of his methods are a little weird. I think he's a little, he's a little old-fashioned. He's he's like a blue-collar type of guy.
Okay. It's good that you're close to your dad.
Yeah.
And it's good that it propagates you wanting to start a whole new generation. I feel like sometimes I talk to people, and it's if they're not cool with their parents, it's almost like a 50-50. They either don't want kids at all, or they want kids and they want to do it completely different. You know what I mean? Do you think you'll raise your kids differently than you were raised, coming up in the early 2000s? Because the world's a lot different now. From like 2005 to 2025,
Yeah, probably.
huge difference.
I'd raise him to,
Get loud, Sean.
I'd raise him to stay away from politics. I don't think it's healthy for the mind.
Okay.
I mean, they can do whatever they want if they choose. I'll let them choose what they want. My parents try to get me into politics, and I just keep telling them I don't want to do that. I don't have any interest. I don't think that my choice alone is going to do anything, honestly. So I go to the gym, I lift, I make music.
There you go. You live your life.
Yeah.
Amen. So, are you? Is there anything you want to change in the modern day you live? Like the Monday through Friday you live through, is there anything you wish you could either change or, take back to, like, now everybody's got their phone, right? Everybody's...
About society or my life?
Could be either. Could be either.
I guess back in the day, I feel like people were a lot stronger than we are today.
Mentally or physically?
I guess both mentally and physically.
Okay.
I saw videos, but on the physical side of things. I saw back I saw these videos of like high school PE programs back in the 1960s of kids
Climb up the ropes and stuff.
it was crazy, vigorous, resilient, just crazy ass PE programs. You don't get that shit nowadays. When I was in high school, it was just me running around like the fucking gym. That was it. And I was just, I was kind of chubby when I was in high school, but I slimmed down because I went to the gym. I ate proper.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot less pressure has been put on, right? In the 70s, if you didn't make it around the mile, they would bring you out behind the, school and beat you, right? If you made, the rest of the class work harder, you would feel it, right? Now it's like, oh, well, if you can't do it, we'll separate you and give you something else. You know what I mean? It's become a society of, if you don't try hard enough to make it happen, well, we'll give you something else to try that you can try just a little bit of. It's not a very risk for reward kind of situation anymore, where you'd have people, in the 70s we were looking at war with Russia. So the next thing was getting a generation ready to go to war. You wanted strong men and strong women. Men getting ready to be shift off, and women getting ready to be taking care of the family and the home front, while the men are away. And now we don't need any of that, right?
Yeah.
So, you kind of have, I don't want to say a weak generation, but it's like you said, it's people who aren't physically super fit, right? We go to the gym a lot, but not many people can run a mile in under 7 minutes, right? Or do 25 push-ups and 25 pull-ups.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are weak almost mentally because they can't conversate with one another in conflict and come up with a peaceful resolution or medium ground. You just have screaming back and forth.
That's kind of like my issue. Like I don't think I'm like that mentally strong. I'm not like, sometimes I like to imagine that I'm like mentally stronger than I am, but I think the problem with me, I don't know, I guess I'm like insecure sometimes. I get into like a lot of fights with my family, with my brother, my mom, over like insecurities, kind of like small things too.
Insecurities about yourself that they bring up and then you're arguing with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should, I know it's a hard statement to say. You should never feel insecure because this is the only life you get, and you are the only person that has to live with it and deal with what you have to deal with. You, right? Nobody else. They can see what's going on with your life and see and deal with the actions you choose to do, and it, it affects them. But you have to live with yourself, and you have to make your own choices. So, we may feel insecure about the choices we make, but don't let it, question you or who you are, right? Because you are good, right? Everybody.
But I want to be, I'm good, but I want to be smart.
Why do you think you're not smart?
I mean, I've done a lot of stupid things in my life. I keep doing stupid things in my life. Not like drugs or anything. I don't know. I just keep making impulsive decisions.
So that doesn't mean you're not smart. Impulsivity and me, I've been told I'm very smart and then super dumb.
I can't focus either. Like that's another problem of mine. Yeah.
So that may be like ADD, ADHD.
Yeah.
That's not something you can control, or nor is it an intelligence thing. I've worked with people who are geniuses that you can set down the most common thing in front of them and they can't figure it out. We all have different levels of intelligence. Take somebody with autism, for instance.
Yeah.
We value them as, I don't want to say the R word, right? But we value them as dumb, right?
Yeah.
But you can take somebody with autism, right, and show them a picture of a city, and then 3 months later they can draw you to that exact detail, that picture of that city. Where I couldn't do that, you couldn't do that. Who could do that?
Depends on who they are, really.
Right, somebody with photogenic memory, you know, and that's almost genius level. So and just like anything, it has its pros and its cons. So you can't be a human with top tier intelligence, top tier looks, top tier everything. It just doesn't exist. You either have a couple of the things and don't have a couple of the things, or it's tough, so don't, I feel like, and I don't click with my family well all the time, right? Family is the most hard thing because they want the best for you.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like my parents put it as, we see you on the train tracks, which we want you to just rip you off the train tracks or let you get hit by a train. It's almost that feeling of you have so much emotion and passion in your child that you want to not only them to take your opinion, but that you want them to do it, right? Immediately. Yeah. And that you're living your own life, you're walking your own path. How can you take somebody else's opinion? It can't walk your path for you. You have to use what knowledge you have, to your best. And sometimes the knowledge they bring you can help you, but Absolutely. You have to use it as a light and not the path. You know what I mean? And sometimes other people don't get that. So that those fights occur, but don't, don't hinder yourself on it,
Yeah.
Do you want, family or wealth and fame more out of life? Because you talk about a musician, and that's the courtesy of it, right? Being world known, right? Kodiak Black and Meek Mill.
Kodak Black.
Okay.
I just want the resource to keep doing what I do. Fame is kind of cool. Money I don't really care too much about. It's fun to get cool clothes and shit. I got this for cheap on Depop.
Okay.
This Bape hoodie. I guess fame is a little cool, I guess, but fame can be like pretty overwhelming too. So it also it's cool, but it's like also terrifying at the same time. But like family, family, you gotta have family. You gotta have people you can fall back on, or people that can fall back onto you, so you can feel like you're like when you're needed.
Yeah, amen.
It gives you a purpose.
Amen. Is there any piece of life advice you want to give to the people that you hold close to your heart that kind of helps you?
Can I also just say, like, I think
absolutely.
Family can be like a little scary too sometimes. Like the closer I get to people, the more afraid I'm going to hurt them. Kind of like the porcupine effect.
Why do you feel like you're going to hurt them? Like your actions, or
like actions, maybe like saying something I don't mean out of like anger, or just like stress, frustration, that kind of stuff.
So I'm gonna butch the saying, but to life is to love, and to love is to care, and to do any of that without pain is impossible, right? So with love and with care comes pain, right? Like, look at a dog, right? Dog, or if you're a cat person, look at a cat, right? Person's best friend. They only live 10 years, right? You can love them. They shit and piss in your house sometimes. You hate them, right?
Like 15 years.
right. 15 years.
A little longer.
Right. And then you get to that 15 years, and you've had so many great memories, but it comes the sad time when they leave, right? And that nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Right? That's just inevitable.
My dog just died like last summer.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
summer
sorry. 2024, yeah.
So just like your dog, think of life like that, right? Your life is going to be amazing, and your family's life, the connection there will be amazing. Sometimes you may piss on their rugs, and they may shit in your house, but end of the day, when it goes time to leave, there will be pain, because no matter what, there is always pain when we leave a loved one, and that comes with, if we're having a bad argument with somebody, that pain is there because we feel like we're being pushed away from them early, right? Almost like somebody's taking away your dog, right? Like it got out of the house and now you're looking around the neighborhood for it. Sometimes we don't know how to come back from that. And it's okay to say, I love you, and I'm sorry, and maybe not say it so much that it just becomes a redundant statement. I love you and I'm sorry. You don't want it to be said every day, the I'm sorry part. But love is kind of this, and especially love within family, it's this untaintable kind of thing. We can remember bad parts, when things happen and that was terrible. But end of the day, all these people, none of them matter when it comes to blood, right? None of these people, you may know a few of them, they may come to your funeral, but your blood is going to be at your graduation, they're going to be at your baby's christening or bat mitzvah or any they're going to be there through thick and thin. And don't stress about hurting them, because that's just part of the course, and they know that too. They're going to hurt you too. I'm sure when you were 10 to 14, your mom or dad told you were grounded and that pissed you off, right? Same thing. Now you're just old enough to piss them off, So it's, a balancing act. Don't be afraid of being human. This is, I guess, the whole point of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think, like, the reason why I feel that way sometimes is that I'm so bad at socializing, like, I think I may, like, be somewhere on the spectrum or something, but,
Why do you feel like you're bad at socializing? You seem pretty fine here. I do sense you're a little shy. You covered your hood.
I got a flex too, but
There you go. Is that the flex nowadays?
Yeah.
The hood?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Bape hoodie. Yeah.
Okay,
The Bape hoodie. These have been around since like the 2000s, actually. Yeah, since like Pharrell.
That's good. I know the zip up all the way to the top. I don't know anybody that's perfect at socializing. I socialize for a living, and I think I just do it because I can't stop talking. right? So, and sometimes that's weird for people.
Yeah.
You're over sharative or over honest. So everybody's different, and your socialization may be through music, it may be through creativity, it may be through connecting in a different way other than language.
Yeah. Another one of my issues is, I don't have like a lot to talk about, like in some conversations, and like for some things I have like, I have a lot to talk about, like too much to talk about. Like sometimes I really want to get some more words in, and yeah.
Why do you feel like that is?
I get obsessed with things. I get like, I get like pretty interested in things. I get obsessed with music.
That's good.
I get, but like other stuff, people are, will be talking about like cars and like video games, and I play video games, but like,
But you've never had an interest in them enough to deep dive and learn about it.
Like deep dive and all that stuff, and like like what's going on in people's social lives, like what's going on in my circle of friends, which I don't even know if like I really have a circle of friends, like a set circle of friends, because I'm usually like the last person that people will like call up, people the last person that people will hit up.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like as I grow older, that happens. It's the beautiful part, and to touch on the first aspect of what you said, the beautiful part about not knowing so much about everybody else's, what they're bringing up to talk, is you can ask them, right? And kind of show interest and create that social bond, right? And that like kind of connection by allowing them to share their enthusiasm, just like you have the enthusiasm for the music, right? When they don't know nothing about music, right? Like I didn't know nothing about cloud rap. Your enthusiasm about cloud rap can create that connection, can build that bridge where like their enthusiasm about food trucks or cars could build that bridge for you, and you guys can connect on your own levels of knowledge, and that's what socializing was in the old days. It would be weird if we both knew everything. What would be the point of talking to one another?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I already know that. It'd be like Google talking to Google.
Yeah.
So and then to touch on the last part, it's life is tough. Everything and everything you do about it is tough. And the hardest aspect of life that I've ever had to deal with is the other people in life.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can't communicate well with people, everything feels tough. Doing things feel tough. Going out in public feels tough because there's so many people. What if I have to run into somebody and there's a disagreement? The guy over there. Great guy. He's probably 70, 80 years old. I parked where that Jeep was, and we probably sat for about 10 minutes and discussed why he didn't want me parking there.
The guy in the food truck?
The guy in the food truck. And
What
I
food?
said, yeah, good food, good guy. Yeah,
The red and green food truck?
Yep, the gyros. And I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I just want more space so people can park and grab food. And I was like, okay, well, I can move over here. Is that what you wanted me to do? He didn't want, that generation will tell you how they feel, but they won't tell you how to live. He didn't want to tell me what he wanted me to do. I was just like, listen, tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. That's all we gotta do. For about 10 minutes, I just kept saying, tell me what you want me to do and I'll make it happen. Do you want me to move 10 feet up? Do you want me to move the next block over? His answer was like, this is just happening. This is where I need people to park, like the trash can. He couldn't. So, that generation missed a whole gap of like, it was almost, they wanted to avoid confrontation so much they couldn't tell people, I want you to move your car because it's annoying to me. And our generation's like, yo, get your car out of here. Get it out. I don't care where it goes. Get on my bike. I'll beat you up. Get out of here. And that comes from socializing and everything changing so rapidly. right? From over 20 years, from 2005 to now everything is group text, right? You're not invited by, seeing you in class and being like, 7 o'clock we're doing band practice, meet us up for band practice, right? It's like 6:30 rolls around, it's like, hey Chuck, what are you doing? You want to meet up for band practice? So it's a lot more almost impulsive kind of behavior, and that that leaves out inclusion, right? Because like, think about it when you're getting ready for class and you're getting ready to leave, and all your stuff is not in your backpack, and you grab stuff around from the apartment, and you don't know, what the rest of your day looks like because you just have this one class and you don't have anything else on your schedule. You don't know what you're going to need, right? 50 years ago, you knew, because there was no phones, there was no like coming back to your apartment. You knew there's this class, and then I'm going to meet up with the gang and we're going to do this at this time, right? So you were more prepared, and the gang knew, hey, this is the regular place, this is the regular time. There wasn't such a instant update and instant like, do we invite Chuck, do we invite Joe, do we hit up Bob, do we, who's driving? It's so convoluted now that sometimes people get forgotten about, and that only snowballs because we internalize that and say, well, why wasn't I invited? And like, I connect with you on that. I'm an avid motorcyclist and dirt biker, and often I see, the people I grew up with riding for years, I'd see them in the woods, right? And I'd run into them in the woods and we'd ride together. And now we're kind of grown, we all live in our own houses, and it's like I see them on Snapchat riding, and I'm like, dang, dude, why didn't you hit me up on the road?
Dude, that happens to me all the time. Dude, it's just,
But nothing has changed for them. They went back to the woods and they met up with those people that I'm seeing on the Snapchat, and there was no plan. It just happened, So sometimes we have to plan for ourselves, right? So if you want to be included, it's not like in the old days it was like, don't invite yourself, right? Like, don't invite yourself to the party, but now it is. You definitely have to invite yourself.
Man, I guess, but like, I tend to invite myself a lot. It's just, sometimes I feel like I want to be invited,
So you don't want to, then you don't have to go if you're inviting yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the beauty of independence and freedom. You can do as you please when you please. That's why probably most of us make plans and then cancel them an hour beforehand.
That's why, like, I mostly do the inviting nowadays. Like, yo, you want to do this? Yo, you want to do that? I'm not like gonna like show up to anybody's shit anymore. So, well, I hope I stay by those words. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with being invited, and there's nothing wrong with inviting yourself. It does feel like crap when you often see that you're not invited. But I don't think many people, other than the people that feel that, right, like you and me, have the forethought to be like, I should invite everybody. You know what I mean? It often comes from a place of knowledge to understand how to make something happen. So you are now in that place where you understand how that feels, and now you want to make sure nobody else feels like that. So you are doing the actions to make sure those people that might have invited you may have never felt like that. So they may just totally overlook that. They may be like, I've socialized so much, I don't even want to socialize, so I don't want to hit nobody up, and just if somebody sees me, they see me. Just like you have changed, people change. And I feel like we have such a depressive rate because people don't talk about how they feel and what has made them feel. They just internalize it and almost feel embarrassed to bring it up, or embarrassed to be like, hey, I feel like left out, guys. Like, how come y'all are hanging out with me and didn't invite me?
Yeah.
And it might just be like, oh, I guess you didn't get the text. I'm sorry about that. But we feel so isolated and secluded nowadays to be fearful to bring that up, right? Like humans who would attack a bear for probably nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Like if we saw a bear, we'd probably go fist to fist with it.
Yeah.
But then like people were like, oh, I don't want to ask you a question. That's crazy, right? So, it's a weird time and a weird world to navigate, and the reason I'm here is because I feel like the weirdest part of all of it is because we're just afraid to talk. We're just afraid to talk to one another and hear, and hash it out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm afraid to talk to people. I'm afraid to talk to people about this kind of stuff sometimes. I don't have like friends that I can like talk to about this kind of stuff. I'm not deeply invested with people like that. I do have friends that I've known forever, but we don't talk this deep. We don't talk like.
Do you want friendships like that?
I do want friendships like that. Well, I do. I think I do have one friendship like that. One is always good. So yeah, I guess there's that. But I guess I'd like, to improve things more. Planning, that kind of stuff.
So not everybody's great at deep talking. I do this almost for a living. I talk to people, but it's rare that I find people who want to deep talk. There are a lot of introverts, right? And people that don't want to talk. And one of my better friends, he doesn't talk at all.
Yeah.
Once in a while he'll talk, and then he won't stop talking. But other than that, he's deep in a book, doesn't leave his house, you know what I mean? And he's a good dude. But, not everybody is the best person to connect with deeply and talk with deeply. You have to find, just like everything else, the good gyro shop or the good cheesesteak shop. You have to find those good group of people, and don't let bad people or people who are shallow and don't care about others take away from your search or take away. You know what I mean? It's don't let them push you away from chasing good people.
Yeah.
I'll give you my card if you ever need. Oh, in this pocket. If you ever need somebody to talk to, at any time, any hour. If it's after 12, I'll probably be asleep, so call. And then I might wake up. But human connection, right? And if you're from this area, you know about Kensington, right?
Yeah.
So, just to put it in perspective, we will rob each other blind and do drugs next to one another.
Yeah.
Right? Stab each other. I'm not talking about me. I'm not a drug addict. But our culture will stab one another and rob each other blind. But when we see one another overdosing and on the verge of death, we would stop everything to try and help them for just a few seconds and then go back to normal life. So, people are inherently good. It's just we do everything bad first.
Yeah. Skrilla?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him in Neon, went down to Kensington. I was there. That was crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy, man. He's got some good songs. I like that song, Baby Shark. I love that song, man. That's cool. That song is so fucking fun.
He's a very chill human being. You ever met him around the town?
No, I've only been to Kensington once. I think like East Kensington.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there to go to like a hardcore show in a church, but I never met him. I don't think I even like I didn't see like a lot of like a lot of fiends out there like at that time of night where I was. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Skrill, he's real cool. He's a cool dude. He's chill.
You talk to him?
I just said hello. The event, he had Neon come out. There was a lot of police presence. He was a little late. It was very hectic.
His album Neon?
No, Neon is like a streamer. He's another person. Huge.
Oh yeah, Neon.
He's got like blonde highlights. Little dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he had an album called Neon.
No. It's he's like
Yeah, I know Neon is.
Yeah. So Skrilla and Neon walked around Kensington and live streamed. They locked themselves in a bodega and did the rest of the live stream there. But I carry around some big cameras, so we met that way. He said what's up on the camera, asked me if I was there to film him. I said no, I think you got a cameraman coming for you. I will film for you though. But no, just really chill. A lot of artists won't connect with their community.
Do you know Neon? Do you ever have you seen his content?
I do know of him. I know that he makes a ridiculous amount of money, $25 million a year.
He's done a lot of like controversial stuff. He's
Sure. How do you get the numbers without it?
Yeah, but like
I'm not pro Neon or against Neon. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like from what I've seen, he kind of seems like a dick. But
I think he is. I think his whole persona is to be the internet like bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's very. People make fun of him. That's his whole thing, right?
I think he probably capitalizes off of it. He's just like some little, I don't know, 19, 20-year-old kid, the scrawny kid, with glasses, easily punchable face, that type of shit.
Yeah. And I am not too familiar, but when he came, I looked at a couple of his streams, and one thing I saw in connection was he was constantly either afraid or trying to get out of there, right? Like he has a lot of bodyguards, not just Kensington, like LA, New York, wherever he's going, he's just constantly looking for the car and looking to get away.
There was this other streamer. Well, hold on. Before I mention that, Neon did, the whole like Didi Osama thing he did. Like, he was just like he was doing like the dance that was made up in New York or whatever. That was like, and that dance was invented to like mock Didi Osama's little brother.
I don't know.
His dead brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went on like a whole apology tour, like a literal apology tour on stream. I was just like, this is kind of messed up.
It's such a weird thing. Like, look at the Paul brothers, like Jake and I just forgot the other one's name. Jake and
Logan.
Logan. Yep. They went to the Japanese.
Japanese suicide
forest, and we thought they were canceled for the longest time, right? Years.
No, right? Now they're getting into boxing.
Yeah, boxing, Netflix, HBO, they got it all now.
They capitalize off that stuff. I mean, I guess maybe it's beneficial to make yourself a fool, but at the same time, when you're exploiting that kind of stuff, that's really messed up.
For sure. So I'm not in agreement with what he did. All I'm saying is, we don't know our journey, and we're not perfect, right? We're going to do everything we can do, and obviously their journey was to become famous and to become world known, right? So they did everything and anything they could think of to do that, and sometimes you don't know you're doing the right thing until, don't get me wrong, no one should go into a suicide forest and film dead people and be like, this is okay.
No.
Under no circumstance is that okay. That is not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, there are trials and tribulations, and without doing those, you don't know. You don't know, one, what you will do, what choices you will make, and then how you will reflect and become a better person after that, right? Like, he could have done the suicide forest and said, now I'm going to be like Neon and just troll y'all. Doesn't matter. I'm going to use this. He moved into a totally different field, right? Now not doing the YouTube videos now so much. Now doing WWE and live events and Lunchables or whatever, the Prime or Feastable. So, like, he moved away from something where he valued, all right, I didn't make the best choices. Right? I was kind of trolling people, making comedy, pranking people, and now I'm kind of beating people up fakely in a ring, but it's more wholesome. It's more, valued as okay. So, it's a transition, just like the famous people, we're going to make mistakes and we got to learn from them,
Yeah.
Any piece of life advice you could give out to the people?
I said this before. Don't procrastinate. Always, do what you got to do early on. If it sucks, you fail hard. If you just you learn from that, you grow, you progress. I released 2 mixtapes, the first 2 mixtapes I put out when I was 21. The first one that I did with my friend, with my homie Twitch Man, shout out Twitch Man. I thought that was pretty good. I thought the beats were on that were pretty good. I thought he did pretty good. I thought I kind of sucked on it, like my rapping, my flow, my delivery. I thought I was a little quiet at points. I thought it was like, sometimes I sounded like kind of unnatural, I guess. And my second tape, my solo tape, Fuchsia. I look back on that and kind of cringe a bit, but I managed to progress. I managed, my music isn't that great. I don't think I hold my music like up to that standard like yet. So,
well, progression is everything, and for sure, never procrastinate. Just get out there and do. I can't tell you, I can't look back on any of my media I've ever created without cringing.
Yeah.
From like intros, outros, but that's growth. Right?
You YouTuber?
Yeah. Yep. We're live right now.
What's the YouTube channel called?
Fall Risk Club.
I'm sorry?
Fall Risk Club.
Fall Risk Club.
Yep, Fall Risk Club.
Like wrist?
Risk. Fall Risk.
Oh, risk.
Like
yeah.
You're at risk for falling.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Fall Risk Club.
You want to give a shout out to your SoundCloud handle?
Chuck Fuchsia. Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Chuck Fuchsia TRTL. Shout out to my homie Twitch Man. Don't look up his Instagram. He doesn't have one. Follow him on SoundCloud too. Shout out to TRTL. Shout out to Crunk Gang. Shout out to my brother Val. Shout out to X-May 69. Perp Stank Seabees. Free Oshi if he still makes music. I don't know. He's doing like merch nowadays. Everybody in the group chat. I guess. Yeah. Shout out to my homie Matt, Aiden. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I miss you guys. Shout out to all my old homies. And Mafia Murder Music, new tape coming soon. Thank you so much.
Stay cool. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you too.
Don't forget your headphones.
Yeah, no, I got that.
And scan it, follow, and you'll see your stuff. The YouTube's up live now. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll be right back at you with a commercial. Could possibly need to capture your day in extreme detail, the detail that it deserves. So please look at some of our work, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Hey there, my name's Dan, and I would love to cover this event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from lighting to sound, videography to still photography, and drones, FPV, GPS, and cinema-level drones. Just a few. The Inspires, the FX6, the A7Is, gimbals from Ronin, Mavics, and FPV Cinelifters. We have everything one could possibly need to capture your day in extreme detail, the detail that it deserves. So please look at some of our work, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Hey there, my name's Dan, and I would love to cover this event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from... So, we've heard from Patrick and we've heard from Chuck today. Some great individuals, some great Temple students. It is always a pleasure talking to the next generation of people and hearing, what's going on. It's interesting to me, how many other people of, today's generation are fearful of just speaking to one another. And you have two normal, grown men that are afraid, both, of dealing with hurting with their family and, communicating out in an open world like this. And we're moving more into a world where people are afraid, and there's nothing to be afraid of. All these people just going to connect in one way or another. It's how will they connect? So, you know, join in and I'm gonna take a small break because I'm gonna find something to hydrate with. Water would be nice. But, you know, until then, I'm going to take a small break. Enjoy the commercial. To still photography and drones, FPV, GPS, and cinema level drones. Just a few. Hey there, my name's Dan and I would love to cover this event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from lighting to sound, videography to still photography, and drones, FPV, GPS, and cinema level drones. Just a few. The Inspires, the FX6, the A7Is, gimbals from Ronin, Mavics, and FPV Cinelifters. We have everything one could possibly need to capture your day in extreme detail, the detail that it deserves. So please look at some of our work, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Hey there, my name's Dan, and I would love to cover this event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from lighting to sound, videography to still photography. I think the hardest part about all this is being patient and just waiting for someone to sit down and talk. It's the hardest part. Because if you're in your phone, they don't want to talk. Well, you know, is there anything y'all want me to ask you? What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Not much. So we're talking to people about life and their dreams. Would you guys like to talk today?
Oh, let me see. I don't know how much time I got.
Well,
I
for
do
your
like dreams,
dreams,
though.
hopefully a lifetime.
I do like dreams. I
That's good. What is your dream?
have a lot of dreams.
That's good.
You're doing a podcast right now?
I'm live right now, yeah.
Are you live? What are you live on?
YouTube, Facebook, Twitch.
Everyone go follow him, alright?
Okay.
Really? Oh, this is a nice camera.
Thank you.
They have a nice setup here.
Thank you. It's very minimal today. Very minimal.
Oh, you have more things going on usually?
Usually I like multiple angles.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way I can
Oh,
like touch
interesting.
somebody's face and then just on their
Zoom in.
face,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, keep people occupied and
That makes sense.
entertained.
Moving angles are good.
Yeah.
Is that your dream? Are you living your dream?
Not yet, I'm working my way to it. My dream is a C-130. Do you know what that is? It's a military surplus plane. So like
Okay.
it was made to cross an ocean without needing fuel and to carry a lot of weight and land on an unpaved like airstrip. So my ultimate dream is to have an RV that I can fly filled with dirt bikes that I get to travel the world and just explore life.
Yeah.
So
sick.
this is what I value the quickest way there.
Okay. So this is your plan to getting that RV?
Yes, lowest profit, lowest overhead, highest profit margin, medium.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
a lot of millionaires and billionaires use camera people specifically.
That is true. So an RV and no gas? What is it?
No, so
Take a gas gets all.
Oh, one full tank of gas.
it's not an RV. It's a diesel turbo surplus military airplane that was meant for carrying troops and 4 Sherman tanks and dropping them. So you ever seen the movies where they drop stuff out of that airplane and like
like a
Iraq
cargo
and-
bomb or something. Yeah.
Same thing. That's an AC-130. So same
all
thing.
right.
You can land those, right?
Yeah,
After
yeah.
filling it one time, you could fly here to England right, without needing fuel or a fueler in the air, and then you can land on gravel, on grass, as long as there's no trees or something you're going to hit with your wings. You don't need a paved landing. You just land.
Oh.
And you roll your dirt bike out and then go explore.
You go wherever you want. That's nice.
Why dirt bikes?
In most other countries, they don't have roads like this. Like if you go to Bermuda, which is like the closest other nice country, like a tourist country to us, like East Coast, right off the side, they have one red light, and then all the asphalt is like hard. Like if you rub it with your hand, you're hitting like rocks, and rocks are coming out. So you don't want like a normal motorcycle. Most other countries have CC limits too. So like Bermuda, you can't be above 250 cc. Most of Europe, you can't be above 500 cc unless you're like out in the rural area. So, dirt bikes.
That's smart.
You guys want another chair? You guys want to sit down together and talk?
I got a lot of papers due tonight.
It's okay. It's tough to talk. It's tough to talk.
Yeah. How long are you going to be out here for?
Usually until like 3:34 until it starts getting dead.
Yeah.
So I can at least beat rush hour.
Yeah. What time did you get here?
12 o'clock.
Oh,
How many
okay.
people did you talk to so far?
2. It's Monday. It's slow. Usually this is the beginning of the season.
Oh,
The more
okay.
I come out, the more people see me, and then the more they feel encouraged to sit down the next time they see me.
Right. That makes sense. You go to Temple a lot?
Temple and Drexel are the 2 faves that you guys are the only ones with the food truck alleys.
Yeah.
So somewhere I can park, there's high food traffic. I'll go to FDR, Love
Okay.
Park, Stillworth Park,
Yeah.
stadiums, anywhere there's high traffic, people want to sit and talk.
Yeah. You ever go to tailgates? Like Eagles tailgate? Like.
People keep telling me I should.
Yeah.
I'm not a big sports guy.
Yeah.
And-
You should talk about sports.
Yeah,
But
so
you're a people guy.
for sure. So I'm pro life, but dealing with intoxicated people is tough. So when
Especially
I
Philly
do
fans.
Manayunk and South Street, people
Oh.
are jumping from bar to bar. They're happy
Yeah.
drinking for a couple hours. When you're drinking from 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m.,
Yeah.
stuff gets wild.
Right.
That's
So-
the deepest truth. It's when they're drunk.
Yeah.
That is
That's
true.
when
People
you
start talking
and
then.
more dreams.
That's when people talk. Get a
Maybe
little
I
loose.
should. It's just such a liability.
Yeah,
Such a
you don't want to get
liability.
anything messed up.
Right.
I bet.
And a lot more cursing. At colleges, you guys are well educated. Manners are here. You guys aren't
Somewhat.
intoxicated.
I think,
I don't have
hopefully.
to like hit the bleep button all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
People can just sit down and have a intellectual conversation. You go to the tailgates and it's mainly click. I'm gotta edit afterwards. I gotta
Yeah.
create the reels, and it's just like
Yeah, yeah,
short
yeah.
things drunk people say that are funny.
Yeah.
Rather than like a
Actual
whole
conversation.
15-minute conversation about life, dreams, what you're chasing, how you're staying motivated, what happens when a hurdle comes up. People want to listen to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you guys go to Temple for?
I go for risk management, like insurance. And
Okay.
I'm a finance student.
Okay.
Finance, bro.
You'll grow up to hate people like me. Huge risk. Motorcyclist, drone pilot.
No, he'll love you actually.
love me.
Oh,
I love you. Yeah.
I pay.
He needs
I
you.
pay.
Exactly.
You pay more than other people.
Maybe.
Yeah.
My lawyer gets a lot back.
Yeah, that's good. Good job, huh?
Does good stuff.
Today's our last day of school.
Today's your last day of school?
Most everyone. Well,
No
yeah, that's
way!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have known that if you guys didn't tell me
I was
that.
gonna say, yeah.
That's crazy.
So probably Drexel. I think Drexel ends in June.
fine. Then they have a 2-week break, and then
They do a quarter system.
I know their senior stuff's coming up quick.
Yeah.
I know St. Joe's is May 17th.
Yeah.
I think, and starting like May 10th. When's your guys' graduation? You guys
next
seniors?
year.
No, we're
yeah,
juniors.
juniors.
One more year. We got
But
one more
like
year.
your
they have it
senior
tonight.
graduation, like the ceremonies, they
The
start
ninth.
next week, right?
Yeah.
the ninth.
Yeah. We'll go to that stuff, and talk
There you
to
go,
people.
yeah.
What's life? But that's different. This is like sit down,
Just regular
relax.
stuff. Right.
That stuff we're carrying around a camera, shoving a mic in people's face, and being like, "What do you want to talk about?" You know,
Yeah.
a little different.
the most interesting conversation you've had?
Here
Yeah.
at Temple, nothing crazy. It's college kids. I don't provoke y'all too much. You know, it's cool and casual. I think what's most interesting when I talk to people in college and out here
Yeah.
is you guys, when I ask people what their dreams are, not a lot of y'all think about that a lot. That's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting to me. It seems like a lot more people are afraid to just sit down. Not so much like in this is not inviting, but afraid to talk to one another, right? Like
Yeah.
I just sat down with a guy who, he admitted sometimes he feels left out, or like his friends don't invite him, and
Yeah.
instead of just saying, hey, I feel left out, why don't you hit me up, I want to be invited more, he's afraid to say that, right?
Right.
Like
People are afraid of rejection and emotions.
That makes sense.
right, and
I'm
like,
scared of my emotions, to be honest with you.
and I want to point out something crazy. If you were to face a bear today, would you try and like yell and like make yourself bigger, or would you run or like crawl into a ball? How would you face a bear today if a grizzly bear just came walking down the street?
A grizzly bear?
Right at you. Brown bear, whichever bear you prefer. Could be Arctic, snow white bear, snow bear.
If it's a polar,
Polar
bear,
bear, yeah.
then you're cooked.
You're cooked.
supposed
You
to
would-
act
I would
dead,
try
right?
and hug it. I would
Supposed
try
to-
and hug it.
I think polar bear supposed to
I
act
think
dead.
they're cooked either way, but
I think
like,
black bear you can. I think I could probably run away from it.
Okay, so you would run.
I'd run from a black bear. Brown bear, I think you're supposed to punch in the nose or something.
You're supposed to make yourself look bigger.
That yeah, there you go.
No, you wouldn't take out your phone and try and record for a second. You
Oh,
would instantly
100%.
run.
100. No, I'd be running away with my phone in my
Okay,
hand.
okay,
Doing
okay.
a selfie thing, kind of like, you know,
Okay.
just in case it does get me.
So now,
content.
with that being in mind, are you more afraid to deal with a bear or to deal with rejection?
Give me the bear.
See, that's fucking crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Number one, because I'd probably get mauled by a bear to death trying to hug it. You know,
Yeah.
I've personally scared one off trying to feed it and capture one of the cubs. So, you know, it's crazy to me growing up in Philadelphia, where like we're a city where like we don't know if we can get shot. Right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
whether somebody in that car wants to shoot somebody in that car over there, and we're just the helpless people that got shot.
Right.
And we live with that, right? Like you guys walk around and you know that's a possibility.
Yeah.
But you know rejection happens every day, whether it be rejection from a job, rejection from like your mom doesn't want to buy you something new, rejection from family members, rejection from loved ones. Rejection is just all around you, right? The more you deal with it, the more comfortable you are with it, right?
Yeah.
Just like a bear trainer becomes comfortable with a bear.
Yeah.
But we're moving to such a way where like we deal with rejection in our phones that we don't deal with it like person to person, right?
Exactly.
Like I have no problem. You guys want to talk, but you don't want to sit, right? I have no problem with that rejection, right? You guys don't want to be on camera. If I had a problem with it,
Well,
I'd probably
right,
just
right
turn
now.
around and stare at the camera, right? It would be awkward and weird for the both of us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I feel like that's the most interesting thing I talk about and hear about from college kids is you guys are at the prime of your life where you should be fearless, right? You literally, men have this like adrenaline function of fear that you chase into the danger zone to save a woman or to save a child, right?
Yeah.
You're at the peak of that.
Right.
And we're at like the lowest level of confidence
Yeah.
for society ever. Right? Like whether it be like I'm going to get that job or she will say yes to the date or I'm gonna make $1 million, whatever it be,
Yeah.
that level of confidence just ain't there.
It's not.
I think you just have to put yourself out there. The more you get rejected, the easier it gets.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Rejection therapy.
Dude, best kind of therapy.
Yeah.
Ask somebody the same question 100 times, one time you'll get an answer yes.
That's true.
But you should have told him that.
I don't know. Maybe. It's true.
A lot of amazing people to ask questions to. You know?
Yeah, appreciate the little pieces.
Yeah. Do me a favor, scan, see what you see, and we talk to all forms of people. What you'll
Let me
see
see.
recently is restaurant owners all around Philadelphia.
Oh,
Why they
restaurant
started?
owners.
Yeah, why they
Restaurant
started?
owner, that's where the money is
Restaurant.
at.
Nah, not really.
Nah.
I know-
Insurance money. He knows it.
I know a lot of
Insurance money,
restaurant
that's the
owners.
money.
And they're rich.
No, they're not.
Well, they have multiple restaurants, I guess.
That's all.
The guys who build these buildings.
Yeah.
They're rich.
Guys who in Jersey's building, they're rich.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they could be in a lot of
buy
debt.
a restaurant. That's my dream.
I feel like
my
restaurant owners, your dream's restaurant,
Yeah.
that's a good way to live. I feel like a lot of restaurant people, they work hard, they don't have tons of money, but they're happy with life because they get to live out their creativity every day and they see people that are appreciative of their art and their love every day by eating it and enjoying it.
I think I'm gonna work corporate a couple years, 5, 10.
Okay.
Then part my ways. Open
Okay.
a restaurant.
Okay. You know, it's tough, but you know, if you make the right connections, it's a world worth living.
Yeah.
You know, and don't let it ever discourage you. No matter what anybody does or tells you, think about Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
She was told no 12 times. Now, nobody doesn't know who Harry Potter is.
That's true.
It's Harry Potter.
Well, weird little wizard kid jumps through walls.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. We just gotta try things. All right. Well,
Very nice to meet you,
good
gentlemen.
talking to you.
Very nice.
Pleasure.
Stay cool.
Hopefully, I'll see you later. All right.
Oh yeah,
Another
you will.
conversation.
Not if it's your last day.
We'll be here.
We'll be around. Well, they didn't necessarily sit down. I don't know if y'all could hear their conversation. So loud. So loud. So, you know, I'm reading all the non-existent comments that have come across so far, and it's been a great show. As the season opens up, we will be out more all around Philadelphia, talking to people about life, their dreams, what they're chasing, why they're chasing it, how it's going, what they're afraid of, what they're not afraid of, if they're going to tackle that bear. Just all walks of life. As you've seen thus far, we've talked to a lot of restaurant owners as it's the cold season, but now the warm season coming up, we're going to be talking to all you cats that are outside adventuring, living life, and living at the extreme side. So I'm excited to show you guys Philadelphia and the people that inhabit it and what they're thinking about it. So let's hang out for another 20 minutes and see if we can spark up another conversation. And if not, thank you all for joining me today. It has been a pleasure, as always, just communicating with the fellow humans, one day at a time. But that brings me to some more important news. A message from our sponsor, me. Event. From drone services, videography, and photography, we can cover it all for you. And these are just some of the tools we bring every time we cover an event. We have full-size production trucks that have everything from lighting to sound, videography to still photography, and drones, FPV, GPS, and cinema level drones. Just a few: the Inspires, the FX6, the A7Is, gimbals from Ronin, Mavics, and FPV Cinelifters. We have everything one could possibly need to capture your day in extreme detail, the detail that it deserves. So please look at some of our work, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Hey there. And we are back at Temple. We have not left. in that 2 minutes. But it has been a great commercial for you.
Very interesting.
It's a great company that runs that Philly FPV. Some of the best photographers and videographers around in Philadelphia. Hello. Good. How are you? It's good. Have a great day. It's tough to get people to sit down. That's just start saying that if you don't sit, the world will stop rotating or something crazy, but you never know. It's almost like a game of like catching eye contact. They look at the sign, which you guys can't see, but there is a sign. It says what's going on in the podcast.
Hey.
Sit down and talk. Hello.
Hey, what is this?
So I go all around Philadelphia and I fast cars. No, I talk to people about their dreams, how they're chasing them, what motivates them, what do they do to overcome a hurdle. Would you like to sit down and talk to them?
Sure, how long is it gonna take? Like a couple
However
minutes?
long you want to sit and talk.
I can give you a couple minutes.
Yeah. Dan, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm AJ.
AJ, very nice to meet you. Where are you from, AJ?
I'm from Loudoun County, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very beautiful area.
Yeah, it's
Very
nice.
beautiful area. What school brings you up this way?
Yeah, I do.
What dream do you have in life, AJ?
I really want to make space for like Black writers. Like I think
Okay.
that there's like a lot of stories that haven't been told, and that need to still be told. And I think there's a big need for space for those writers and a space for them to
Well, hopefully we didn't lose audio for too long. That's a shame. Well, sorry about that technical difficulty. It seems like the heat has killed the batteries.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably wrap it up on that one, as we don't know how much time the batteries have left.